Well, good Thursday morning. First Alert meteorologist Jacob Durham here with your morning edition of First Alert Weather Extra, where we have a little bit of everything kind of going on for you this morning. We had a little bit of fog that was inland. We had some downpours along the I-10 corridor, and we had a lot of sunshine, as evidenced up here on the Jennings Skycam that you'll see here in just a few moments. A few fair weather clouds, they are now beginning to build in off in the distance, and that's kind of what we've seen here in Lake Charles as well, versus a little bit more of a cloudy kind of aspect earlier this morning back into DeRidder. But the good news is they too are beginning to see some of that sunshine. Current visibility right now between 8 and 10 miles out there. I don't expect a whole lot of issues as you're moving forward throughout the afternoon and evening. Satellite and radar very, very quiet. We do have a couple of showers, a couple of downpours. That's a little bit more organized activity, if you will, back across Arkansas and western Tennessee, and those are continuing to progress off towards the east. A stalled boundary, or weak boundary, if you will, kind of pushing through now. It's not going to bring any change because it is weakening, and it doesn't have much of an impact on our weather, at least now, other than the fact it's helped produce a couple of showers, a couple of downpours out there. So right now, kind of the heart of the country, if you will, or at least the heart of the deep south back across Tennessee, just some light showers there, more cloud cover than anything. Showers and downpours back across Michigan, now pushing back up into portions of Canada. And then we have mostly quiet conditions back across the northeast as well that we're watching. Then our next system already beginning to take shape back to the west, area of low pressure that is spinning. It's coming out of Canada, or it's going into Canada, should I say. It's going to dive southward with time, and that's got a bunch of snow with it, and that's producing some wintry weather across Montana to Idaho, back over into Wyoming, and eventually back down into Utah as well. But the deep south is quiet, but we're going to have another wave that is off the Baja Peninsula of California that's going to begin to move in over time, and those two are going to merge together to create this stronger cold front that we're eventually going to see in southwest Louisiana later on this week. So we do have some showers and downpours out there. I'll give models credit. They were hinting at the opportunity for these showers to kind of develop as we went throughout the morning time frame, and they've kind of developed right on excuse me, out there, mainly north of Interstate 10. Excuse me, we're looking up from the Fort Polk radar there back across Vernon Parish. Now, these showers and downpours are very, very small. They're about to move into Rose Pine and then eventually towards Fort Polk and the radar. Near the Evans community, a couple of heavier downpours as well. These are lasting 3-5 minutes maximum, and then they're beginning to taper off. And then as you slide farther to the south, we've got a couple of light showers south of DeRidder now, just to the east of 171. There's Dry Creek, Bundick Lake that we're talking about towards Sugartown. This should kind of split DeRidder, Bundick Lake, and Sugartown as it lifts towards the north-northeast towards LA 112. Now, as we slide farther to the south, new downpour that popped up just to the west of Topsy, just to the north of Moss Bluff at this hour that we're seeing a couple of light showers in and around the Fields community, just to the north of Starks, and those are the downpours that we're kind of watching, at least across our area. Nothing really popping up in Cameron at this hour, but we'll continue to keep a close watch on the radar in case things begin to happen. But you can actually see the weak little boundary that is pushing through as we speak based on the clouds streaming to the north. And here's a little bit of that cloud cover that's kind of diving south. So that's that weak little boundary that's kind of creating some of these showers and downpours, at least on the backside, as temperatures begin to warm up across the region. That's kind of what we're looking at for now. Temperature 81 degrees in Lake Charles, 79 in Jennings, 77 in Oakdale, to 75 in DeRidder. It's 76 in Fort Polk. So these numbers are quickly climbing out there for you this morning and into the afternoon hours. I expect most areas to be back into low 80s. Now, 84 is what we're forecasting that high for today, but based on what we're doing so far, we may surpass it by a degree or two. We'll see. I think we'll eventually kind of hit a little bit of a wall and just kind of hold steady. That's what we've been doing the last couple of mornings. But at least along the I-10 corridor, we're about 4 to 5 degrees warmer than where we were this time yesterday because of the cloud cover that we had in play. Areas inland, basically the same number because we're kind of doing the same old dance and song once again with that cloud cover and that fog out there early this morning that'll eventually begin to kind of taper off just a touch. Winds are out of the south, 10 to 15 miles per hour, so they're not as strong as what it has been the last couple of days. So that is at least, excuse me, some good news there. If you do have any maybe plans to go out on a boat later this afternoon, it might be a little bit choppy, but not looking too shabby for you. But dew points are certainly upper 60s to low 70s. These are going to be just a little bit above where we were this time yesterday, 2 to as much as 5 degrees. So I'm not expecting a big change in that regard as we're moving forward, but something to kind of keep and monitor and kind of keep in mind, if you will, as we're moving forward. Futurecast will show you temperatures back in the mid to upper 70s out there as we're heading into your Thursday afternoon. So we're a little bit behind, at least in terms of that number. We're a little bit ahead, at least along and south of Interstate 10. But I still think we kind of hold steady once we get over the course of the next hour or so. I think we kind of hold steady in that regard. In fact, let me go update these numbers real quick for you. That way I make sure that the ones at least here in Lake Charles are good to go, because we are tracking those temperatures just a smidge warmer already than what models are showing. And it's not by much, but we will be looking at high temperatures today back into the low 80s, and we'll kind of hit that little bit of a stunt, or a little bit of a kind of a holding pattern, if you will, moving forward. So I'm just updating these numbers real quick. Everything looks pretty good north of Interstate 10 because of the cloud cover that was in place for you there, which is always great news. DeRitter is right on track as well, because we're expecting that sunshine to begin to warm. Jeff Davis is right on track as well. So that's good news in that regard. So we'll jump back into it as we're tracking these showers and downpours that are going to begin to move back into the forecast as we're moving forward in time. But overall, mostly quiet afternoon. There could be a couple of light showers that we have back in play, mostly off towards our east through the afternoon and evening time frame. Cloud cover continuing to kind of stick around as well for you as we're moving into the overnight. Basically a carbon copy and paste to what we've been dealing with. A little bit of cloud cover back in the mid to upper 60s there. Clouds continue to stick around as we head through the overnight hours. Maybe a couple of stray showers tomorrow. I don't think it's necessarily widespread in terms of that evolution in terms of rainfall for your Friday. I think most areas are staying pretty quiet in that regard, but your mowing forecast does not look all that bad for today and tomorrow. Yes, a couple of showers, couple of downpours, but it's not anything that's really of great substance, if you will, that will cause you to go inside for a prolonged period of time. Saturday and Sunday, though, a little bit fair, and that's especially late in the day on Saturday and then early in the day on Sunday, as that cold front is still set to kind of move across the region. For tonight, temperatures will be back into the mid-60s. Nice southerly wind that'll begin to move in, and temperatures will cool down as we head through the overnight hours. Back into the mid-50s to upper 50s out there for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So you might want a light jacket as you're heading out to your destination, whether it be work or school out there early next week. But the good news is we are still tracking relatively quiet conditions at this point. And then next week, the humidity begins to return, as well as the opportunity for some of that rain, which looks a little bit more promising, at least I hope, by the end of next week compared to how we have been, as that pattern tries to flip around just a little bit. 85 degrees tomorrow, 85 on Saturday. Once again, I think the first half of Saturday looks good. Showers and downpours could return as we're heading into our Saturday evening. So if you have plans, I know this is Home Fest is going on downtown. We'll have to watch for that just to be safe with the current timing. We'll get high resolution data rolling in as early as tomorrow, and that'll have a big role for us. But cooler weather certainly on Sunday, back in the mid-70s. It will be a little bit breezy, but a shower or downpour not out of the question early on. Year-to-date rainfall, this number continues to increase just a little bit now, about 6 8/10 of an inch below average for this time of year. More than likely, we're going to be pretty close to 7 inches by the time this updates tomorrow. We did have a downpour, at least over downtown, but it kind of missed the airport based on the current observations. I didn't see much in the way of any accumulation there this morning, but we may have picked up a quick tenth, at least downtown. So that's once again looking at the airport's observation. So high pressure continues to kind of meander off to the east. It'll finally begin to weaken as we head into the weekend, and that's where the cold front will begin to push in from the north and the west and dive southeast. That's where all the showers and downpours are, and will continue to kind of drape itself off to the south and east. But as it does so, high pressure rebuilds to the east, and here comes a couple of systems that are beginning to move in. Now, high pressure is going to try to battle it out. The latest model runs really cut back on rain chances heading into next week, so that'll be something to watch in case that trend continues. We may have to lower these rain chances Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, but that'll be something that we're watching. That's still about 10 days out. We got time to watch. Saturday and Sunday right now, best chance for rain comes Saturday night, about a 60% coverage there. And rainfall totals have come up, and I may have to update this graphic too. It's now showing a little bit more closer to a widespread inch across the region, so that'll be good news. Let me go ahead and update that for you. That way you have that information. I'd had this kind of broken down into kind of separate things. So we're going to go a half inch to an inch, probably along and south of Interstate 10. So you'll see this number update here in just a moment. And then we'll go, we'll say say anywhere between, say, 3/4 of an inch to maybe an inch and a quarter for areas inland. So let me go ahead and put that on there and show you that. So now I'll take this with a grain of salt. This could certainly change based on the exact timing and the impacts there that we have. But I'm thinking, you know, 1/2 inch to an inch along the south of Interstate 10, maybe 3/4 of an inch to an inch and a quarter north. And now I kind of went on the lower end of the spectrum there in terms of that rainfall, at least for now, because I don't want to get our hopes up too high because this could easily come back down tomorrow. But the trends have been our friend for a little bit more of a soaking rainfall into this weekend. So we'll continue to keep a close watch on that. You just saw meteorologist Max Logano. He just walked in. He's going to have a full update coming up on 7 News at noon. He'll also have updates coming up on 7 News at 4 as well this afternoon. And then Chief Meteorologist Wade Hampton, he'll be breaking down the latest on that information. Max just about fell, so we don't want to have a casualty.
I thought the back of the chair was a lot closer than it.
He's struggling. He just got up himself. That's what we're going to go with.
I got to try that again.
Yeah, he about sat down, about flipped over. So we're going to make sure he's going to be in bubble wrap at noon. That way he doesn't get hurt. But he'll be breaking that down for you, and then we'll see you back here tomorrow on your First Alert Weather Extra morning edition at 10 a.m. But until then, we hope you have a fantastic Thursday. Keep a close watch to the sky in case any of those downpours begin to move in, and we'll keep you updated inside your First Alert Weather app.